What's up, guys? Jake from Atomic here. I want to talk more about the Harbinger and specifically the events and the scoring system. Okay, so first off, event number one is going to be total body strength and endurance. Okay, this is going to be max reps hip to overhead in 2.5 minutes. Okay, now hip to overhead means from the thighs up to the rack and then getting it overhead in any way, shape, or form. Okay, you guys can do that with a push press, military press, or even a power jerk. Okay. Load's gonna be 95 pounds for my guys, 65 pounds for my females. Passing score, 20 repetitions. And for each additional rep, you get 1 point. Okay, and just for a frame of reference, the highest we've had, 50 repetitions, which accrued 30 additional points. And that was with one of our athletes, Brandon Rodas. Okay, you can rest in that 2.5 minutes. You just cannot set the barbell down. You can have it in the front rack and hold it, or you can just hold it against your thighs in your hands, but obviously it's gonna be taxing your grip. Okay. Event number two, lower body strength endurance. This is going to be max reps lunges in 2.5 minutes. Guys at 95 pounds, ladies at 65 pounds. Passing score, 40 repetitions. And a good repetition is going all the way down until your knee touches the ground or almost touches the ground. It's absolutely fine to use a pad of some type to make sure you're not beating your knees up. Okay. You also have to stand all the way up in between each repetition. Right. For any additional reps you get 0.5 or half a point. Right, for each additional rep. Highest score we've seen, 80 repetitions, which accumulated 20 points, and that was from one of our coaches, Alex Gold. Event number three, upper body strength endurance pressing, okay? Now this is gonna be max reps bench press at body weight for my guys and 0.65% of body weight for my ladies. Passing score is 8 repetitions, and you get 1 additional point for each additional rep. Highest score, 30 reps that we've seen. That accrued 22 additional points, and that was with one of our athletes, Dan Dow. Okay. Event number 4, work capacity under load. It's going to be max reps, 25-meter shuttle in 90 seconds with weight. Okay. Dumbbell, kettlebell, plate, doesn't matter. And it's going to be an interval format. So you're going to do 4 bouts of 90 seconds of work. And you're going to have a 1-minute rest in between each round. Okay, loading 15 pounds for my ladies, 25 pounds for my guys, and you get 2 points for each additional 25-meter shuttle that you run. Passing score is 40 sprints. Okay, highest we've seen is 56 sprints total. That accrued 32 points. That was from one of our coaches, Ben France. Event number 5, right? Upper body strength endurance pulling. This is going to be max reps pull-ups for my guys. Max reps horizontal pull-ups for my ladies. Okay, passing score is 8 repetitions. Pull-up, you need to get all the way up until where your eyes or chin are above the bar. For the horizontal, the leg is going to be straight, no leg assist. Okay, barbell set at hip height, and you're pulling all the way up until your chest touches the bar. Okay, for every additional rep, you get 1 point. And the highest we have seen is 30 repetitions, which accumulated 22 points. And that was from one of our athletes, Max Wright. Final event, 3-mile run for time. Okay, passing time is anything under 27 minutes. All right, for each 15 seconds faster you come under that, you get 1.5 points. Okay, highest score we've seen is 18:30. All right, that was 34 additional points by another one of our athletes, Brandon Rodas. So this one does require a little bit of math, but the score sheet takes care of it for you. Okay, and that's actually very challenging to do after 5 events. Now, the interesting thing about this test is that we have a baseline of standards that we think you should pass, regardless of ability, size, structure, frame, natural inclination towards certain endeavors. And then you can accumulate points on top. And we have ranges for these points. So if you just pass all the minimal standards and you get less than 25 points, we call that the atomic standard. That's good. Good job. Okay, military standard, we would consider that 25 points and higher. And then essentially we have brackets for every 25 points. So at 50 mark is a different classification, 75 a different, and then we've had some athletes go over 100 points, okay? So the highest we've actually seen, according to this last testing, was 115 points accumulated over the 6 events, all right? Now, if you do not pass a standard, say for example, the run or the bench press, you will lose points. Okay, so what that means is not necessarily that you failed the test, because there's certain athletes who have failed certain events on this test, which I would consider great athletes. And I would be more than happy to go into a combat zone with them, not worried about their fitness holding them back. So initially it was like, if you don't fail them, then you just failed the test. But now we've actually have it set up to where if you fail a specific event, whatever number that you are shy of from failing is actually negative points. You're gonna have to make those points up somewhere else. Okay. So all in all, this is a really great test. We've been enjoying, putting athletes through it, adjusting the standards just here and there. And honestly, I think the only standard that I kind of have beef with is the bench press, because there are guys on here who are former college athletes, hockey players, military guys that have not passed the bench press, but all in all, I would consider them very, very fit individuals. And I don't think it's fair to say that someone could not perform in a combat zone just because they can't bench press their body weight 8 times. All right. Whether that's extremely long arms, right, or a previous injury that just kind of precludes them from training that attribute significantly. That's the only issue we have with this test so far. All in all, we think it's a great test. And we're super excited to see you guys input your numbers on the test here in a few weeks.